Tuesday. If you are ready to get started, drop the word hidden, HIDDEN, into the chat, and we are going to send you our physiological aspects chart of metabolic chaos. Today, we are going to be talking about the different types of internal hidden stressors. This is the Health Coach Tip Tuesday show, where every week we share tips, tools, and resources for health coaches and professionals so that you can confidently solve your clients' health issues and grow your career as a health coach or professional. I am your co-host and FDN Director of Course Enrollment, Piper Gibson, and you guys definitely know the man next to me. This is Reed Davis, founder of Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. How are you today, Reed?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Piper. Good to see you.
You too. And I am so excited to have you here to share with us once again your deep knowledge and expertise in all things functional diagnostic nutrition and health coaching. We are going to be talking about the different types of internal hidden stressors today. Let's start off by talking about what is the difference between good stress and bad stress, because there is good stress.
Yeah, there is. We can't grow if we don't stretch ourselves a little bit, and it's in nature important to have. It's called eustress, EU stress, eustress. So it's the kind of stress that makes a butterfly come out of its chrysalis. It has to stretch and squeeze and stuff like that. There's a story of the little boy who saw a butterfly struggling to get out of the little cocoon chrysalis thing. So he got a pair of scissors and he snipped it and he let the thing out. But its wings didn't develop and it died. It couldn't fly. So what we know from that is that the stress of squeezing and working your way out of that chrysalis is what squeezes the fluid out into the wings and allows the butterfly to fly. Anyway, we all know that story. Stress is useful. At the same time, distress is the sort of continuous, ongoing, usually chronic types of stress that have a deleterious effect, at least after a while, once they're built up. Once your body starts to fail to adapt. So we have stress, we have adaptation, and eventually we have failure to adapt, or so much adaptation that it causes dysfunction. Notice you're still adapting. The body's still trying to be in homeostasis, but physiological changes happen. Metamorphosis takes place in us too. So you start sort of robbing from Peter to pay Paul, and at some point you got to pay the piper.
Yep.
And hey, that's not you. You don't get anything out of that.
Yeah. Well, they could pay me anyway. That's okay. I take all sorts of payments. So let's dig in.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Reed.
Good stress, bad stress.
Yes, good stress, bad stress.
Management.
We know that what we're going to talk about today is hidden internal stressors, and you have created this really cool acronym for the word hidden, HIDDEN. So I would love to break down what each of those letters stands for and how it is part of that hidden stress, that internal stress that people are experiencing. So let's break it down.
Yeah, that acronym, sure. Well, the acronym hidden stress and dysfunction occurred to me one day. I was just running the tape through my head of all the things we work on, I was continuously trying to systematize the investigation into underlying causes. And I knew that if I come up with a step-by-step system that was just simply developing anyway, it's organically out of my business. It was just happening. I was running thousands of labs on thousands of people. And most of them were women. And, we always knew, you got to check their hormones. Most of them are coming to you with kind of hormonal complaints. They have a complaint and you say, well, this is not the circulatory system or the lymph system, or it's not even really the nervous system at this point. It's the hormonal system. It's the endocrine system, and we would start running labs along those lines. And then people would get better. But they wouldn't get all the way better. He's like, well, that's good. I feel better, but I still got this and I still got that. So now I don't like a this or that approach. I didn't want to hear that. I just wanted to hear, oh, I'm all better, thanks. But, life doesn't work that way. So as I ran thousands of labs and thousands of people, other patterns emerged besides that you have to balance the hormones. And it became not necessarily in this order, but the hormones, the immune system, digestion, detoxification. You can't leave that one out, can you? Energy production, and then the nervous system balance, sympathetic versus parasympathetic, fight, flight versus rest and digest. So those 6 areas became the most common 6 areas. If you could identify healing opportunities in those areas and help that person rebalance, re-educate, rebuild, restore function in those areas, well, just about everything else they had going on disappeared. Sometimes just permanently. I mean, not everyone gets 100% better because there are still hidden complexities in metabolism that, frankly, we haven't figured out yet. And then there are people with sort of inborn errors, and there are true medical conditions that don't resolve easily. And so, but almost everyone else, anyone with the sort of common, regular, chronic stress-related conditions, some of them very serious, were resolved by the continuously so again, the acronym just occurred to me one day. I had the letters and I just had to kind of put them in the right order. I was pretty good at Scrabble back in the day, so I figured it out. Hidden, HIDDEN. But one's not more important than the others, and they didn't appear to me magically in that order.
Well, and I think it's really awesome because it's easy to remember. So especially FDNs who are out there working with people, they can easily explain what a hidden internal stressor is because we know what that acronym stands for. And so it's a great way to incorporate that into how we are helping people and how we can explain it in plain English.
Yep, in plain English, that's the key, or imagine it translates very easily into other languages. But a matter of fact, we have FDNs who speak French and a lot of Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, a huge number of Chinese, and different. And it's all just going into different languages because I have made it basic and easy. And the hidden, you're right, it's a good way to remember the things that we're looking for. Now, there are other systems in other areas, but these are the ones that I found that a health coach has the power or can empower their clients to work on quite easily. Simple.
It is. It's simple. It's simple, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So how do hidden stressors correlate with most health complaints? We hear people complaining, I don't feel good, I have headaches, I have stomach aches, I have gas, I have bloating. How do these hidden stressors play a part in that?
The key is to realize that they're all involved and not to segment them. The problem that everyone seems to recognize with Western medicine is its fragmentation of the body. You have to see a gastroenterologist for this problem, an endocrinologist for that problem, a proctologist for something else, an ear, nose, and throat guy, things like that. There's not enough generalists around anymore. And there's reasons that it went that way because of how complex disease is. Disease is really complex. Well, I really haven't studied disease that much. What I study is health and how things are supposed to be. What does normal function look like? Forget disease. There's doctors for that. I want to be able to teach people what health looks like and how to just build on that. The beauty and the strength and the power of our system is that it's fueled by an innate intelligence that wants to be healthy, and think of any example, something gets broken, the body will fix it itself if it has time. And so what we do is we nurture up that power and strength and that intelligence, if you will, that's innate in every cell. And that also means don't just think, it's which one of these is my client's problem. They're all a problem. They're all involved. And so that's the real secret. So the way that they relate to complaints, what people show up with that they don't like, something about the way they look or the way they feel, that they want to change. And it's that these areas are basically the result, the dysfunction in these areas, the result of metabolic chaos. You know, the term I like to use is metabolic chaos. So if we accept the fact that there are stressors and they create adaptation and then sort of failure to adapt or continuous adaptation, body wants to be healthy, but it's losing balances in a way that the body actually starts to morph. There's a thing called morphology and pathology. You know, it creates disease processes. Body's breaking down. You're getting older, before your time, and you feel like crap. You know, so that's metabolic chaos. That pretty much defines, well, there's just stressors, and then there's individual weak links in metabolism and chaos. So this is a way to kind of straighten it out. We can kind of go in there and just, you know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Multiple things. Some things we don't even know about. I just was reading a new study the other day. I thought I was an expert in hormones. Well, they just came up with a new one. You know, so, okay, well, there's some more learning that I have to do that I actually enjoy. But what I'm saying is that if you can get these, start to pull it apart a little bit, not that we'll work on that one area individually, we're going to work on them all, because our program is so holistic that it works on every cell, tissue, organ, and system. But at the same time, you need to know where the healing opportunities. You can point them out to your clients, to people, so that they understand the task at hand, and they know, and you can then set your goals and then plan to reach those goals. And then you also have the measurements. You have the labs that will help you track your progress. What you can measure, you can improve beyond the subjective how you feel. I mean, it goes without saying, you need to feel better, feel great, have more energy, you sleep better, you feel like exercising, your brain fog clears up, your sex life improves, your muscle tone, the way you look and feel can be a lot better than what it is, and you'll know it. But when we have the lab work to back it up, it's helpful.
Absolutely. So if you guys are just joining us, I know there's a few people who are just joining. Make sure to drop the word hidden into the chat, and we are going to send you our physiological aspects chart of metabolic chaos. Reed and I are talking about the different types of internal hidden stressors. So if you have questions for Reed, you want to dig a little deeper, make sure to drop that in the chat as well. We would love to answer those questions for you. So Reed, what happens if we don't resolve hidden stressors?
You go directly to jail, do not pass go, to not collect $200. You know, it's, you know, you get what you get, which is going to depend on each individual person. But generally, as the body breaks down, you get symptoms. You know, and then you get, you start finding yourself maybe self-medicating, and you're always reaching for stuff. So, you know, if you need a lot of coffee in the morning to get going and a lot of alcohol at night to wind back down, and in between you're not exercising and you're feeling overweight and, you know, fatigued and taking naps, you know, all these things, the brain fog, cloudy consciousness, I guess they call it sometimes. And, you know, not to mention a lot of aches and pains. And again, anything that you want to change about the way you look or the way you feel you can improve things. You know, I mean, except for me, I'll probably never grow hair again, but that's okay. I got used to it, and some people think it's cute.
It's distinguished, Reed.
I just put a hat on. I can always just put a hat on, right? Yeah, but anyway, no, I mean, you know, I just wish my barber would open back up. He's closed, and I don't like how I'm getting on. You know, look at that bedhead. But anyway, yeah, I'm ready for things to open back up. But if you don't resolve your hidden stressors and dysfunctions, you're going to continue to feel like crap. You will not overcome that fatigue or overweight or even things like sinuses, allergies. How about mood disorders and depression? And how about blood sugar and blood pressure and all these other things that are, you know, part of the downward spiral of aging poorly? So you can choose poorly, as the man said, or choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Definitely. So we have, there are a lot of health coaches out there who struggle to really help their clients feel better, to help them get back on the healing path. How can health coaches use this hidden stressor acronym to really help their people get back to feeling great again?
Well, if you have the right training, you can run the tests, hormone, immune, digestion, detoxification, energy production, nervous system. There are ways to assess those things, getting the clinical or, laboratory data. So it's kind of hard when you're just talking to a person. Now, by the way, we do amazing intakes. I teach an intake system that starts with a onboarding session and then a good history taken, including medical history, including lots of forms that not everyone likes to fill out, but that give us criteria. They help us assess, form an impression about a person and what they might do to improve their health. So we have to we have to form an impression. We have to then run labs in my world because I want the objective data as well. Again, what you can measure, you start to be able to change. And I don't mean change it by taking a supplement or a pill to treat the paper. I'm talking about you lived yourself into those numbers. You ate your way into it. You lack of sleep your way into it. You lack of exercise or over-exercise your way into it. You have stressed yourself into those test results. So we're not just talking about changing the numbers on the paper. That doesn't really do much for anyone long term. And we do use supplements to help a little bit. But if you have sort of epigenetically got yourself into a jam, you can epigenetically get yourself out of that jam. That means live a way that will reverse the damage done. So that's where a health coach can be really helpful, because what do? We help people identify their problems, try to narrow them down to something manageable. We help them to set reasonable expectations over what they might achieve in the next short term versus long term. We help them define a plan to get there, and we help them work the plan. We can be encouraging and motivating and be a friend when they need it, or be a disciplinarian when they need it. But when you have the lab work backing you up, it makes both people's lives easier. It makes it easier for the client to commit. There's nothing like looking at a lab going, hey, you see where this is? If this keeps going the direction it's going in, it's going to end up in a real serious disease where you will have to have medical care and pills and surgery and all that stuff that our clients don't want. That stuff. That's not our idea of healthcare. That's disease management. We don't want that. No. So there's different ways to look at this. Either you're going to prevent someone from getting into just disease management, or if they're already in that mode, you can get them out of it. With the consent and oversight of their physician, you can do amazing things. And we get paid to do it because we're professionals. The model I teach is completely professional. It's like you do this because it's your passion. You're willing to walk the talk. You're willing to learn. You're willing to invest in yourself and your business. And if you're willing to do all those things, step up. Join the club.
Well, you mentioned having the right training, and so I would love to address this question: is what sets FDN apart from other programs out there? Why is FDN different?
Well, that's easy. It's the only one that I teach. You can't get my training anywhere else because I didn't get it from weekend seminars. I didn't get it from just watching videotapes. I got it from practicing in an office on thousands and thousands of people. thousands of labs and thousands of people. Now, I had great mentorship. I went to all the lectures and seminars, and I listened to, back then I was listening to a lot of, believe it or not, those little tapes, and things like that. I listened, I recorded the lectures and listened over and over and over again, some of these things. So I've done all that too, but there's having the parallel of just going back to the office and practicing, running thousands of labs and thousands of people and making my own observations. You're not going to find that kind of experience in other courses. Most of the training I notice going on is, I mean, there's a few, and some people I've talked to I respect wholeheartedly, because they did have a practice. They actually have active practices. They're actually working on patients or clients as we speak. Others are just more research and development based. They work for a lab or a supplement company, and they get a group of people together and they try this and try that. But, in a sense, they have a solution for which they're looking for a problem. Like they've already got the solution. Now we need to find people that fit into the model that would use. That's how they're going to make their money. We take on all commerce, or we can. Like we're looking for problems that need solving, and then we will bust our asses to help that person solve those problems with whatever it takes. We don't have one product or one lab or one thing. We have nothing to sell anyone. I'm not pushing any one modality or therapy or again, I don't have a solution for which I'm looking for a problem. I'm looking for people with problems that they don't think there is a solution. And then guess what? What we have is a methodology, and it's a process. If we sell anything, it's a process of discovery, of uncovering the hidden stressors and dysfunction, of working creatively to resolve those things and deal with whatever pops up in the process. And we manage it professionally. Obviously you need your main goals and your plan, and then you got to work the plan. And people are really happy with it, or it would not have grown. It just has really grown organically from the first class I taught. From the first class 12 years ago, 13 years ago in July.
I know you were health coaching before health coaching was cool.
It wasn't even a word.
I know. I know. I love it. I think it's awesome. Well, do you have one tip, tool, resource that you would like to share with everybody watching before we sign off for the day?
Well, you ask me this every week, and it's whatever pops out of my mouth
cool.
Pops out. And I try to be helpful. Today, I'm actually thinking, you know what, folks, go to functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, read up on what we offer, and talk to talk to Piper or one of her crew, my course registrants there. We don't take everybody. Find out if you qualify. Like, you have to know how to use a computer. Let me tell you that. But no, seriously, there's some criteria to find out if it's right for you. If you're already a health coach, probably a sure bet. If you have a good attitude, and you like to work together and be part of a team and learn and be willing to pay it forward, invest in yourself and in your practice and things like that. But if you're, let's say, someone who's just working on themselves right now, and you're searching the internet and you don't know, oh man, what should I do? Just give it some very serious consideration and talk to our counselors. They'll let you know what the commitment really looks like in terms of the time involved. You might think, oh, I don't have 2 years to learn how to be no, it doesn't take 2 years. It's actually a very much less than that. And in just a few months, you can learn more than you will the rest of your life searching on Dr. Google. I guarantee you'll get a system that, as long as the client has reasonable expectations, you're going to be able to go out there and do some amazing things. And the miracles do happen. It's just amazing how fast and well people can improve. And again, I'm going to also teach you a business model so that you can do it for a living. We've had people come from who were real estate agents or They're career moms, if you know what I'm saying, or they're in engineers. Engineers love our stuff. They geek out, you know, on all the crunching of numbers we do. But don't get scared of that. I teach all the anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, the numbers and things in a fun way. It's entertaining. It's I don't read a script. It's not boring. I'm working either off of my bullet points or you know, experience, telling you how this works in real life. I have amazing. Again, the difference. That question you asked, why is it different than anything else? It's the only course I teach. I have a certain teaching style, and it's all based on practical experiences. Last but not least, I can't tell you how many people with master's degrees, even PhDs, said, I wish I'd have saved all the time and money I spent on this useless degree. I could have taken your course and applied the practices and been helping people and not been in so much debt, you know. So there you go.
I actually hear people tell me that a lot, is that, man, I wish I had known this before. But what I will tell people is that in my past life, like before FDN life, I was a fashion designer. So you can do it, you can learn it. I have completely changed my career path, and Reed made it super simple and easy to understand. And now I can go back out and change other people's lives. So I'm with Reed. Go to functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com. You can book a call with myself, Kelly, or Jess. We would love to connect with you and talk to you all about FDN. But thank you so much, Reed, for joining me today. It was a great Health Coach Tip Tuesday.
Thank you, Piper. I knew there's something very special about you. You know, you always have that little look to you. So
yeah.
Good on you.
A little funky. So we will be back here same time next week. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching the replay, make sure to drop the word hidden, HIDDEN, into the chat, and we are going to send you our physiological aspects chart. Thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, you can also drop those in the chat and we will answer those later. So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great Tuesday.